This is a dramatization of the true story of the final known killings of the most prolific and unique American serial killer of the 21st century.
You know you asked for this, right?
A full month after its US release, I finally got to see the new thriller, Strange Darling. Is it worthy of the hype? So, what did I think? A woman, known only by the moniker The Lady, played by Willa Fitzgerald, is being pursued in a deadly game of cat and mouse across rural Oregon by a man known as the Demon, Kyle Gallagher. But things are not as clear-cut as they seem. Last Saturday, myself and my wife had a choice of two new releases. The Substance, which was playing in a cinema 15 minutes away, and Strange Darling, which was playing in a cinema 30 miles away. Well, if you follow my reviews, you know I decided to see The Substance first.
You chose poorly.
Right. Before I go any further, I want to apologise in advance for the vagueness of this review. I'm deliberately keeping it vague because I really don't want to give out any spoilers to what I consider to be one of the films of the year. You know, sometimes you look at the release schedules in the theatres and you have to wonder, what happened to the Hollywood that believed in taking a chance? These days, you have studios who believe in playing it safe, so obsessed with streaming and ever-expanding budgets, they don't bother with anything new or exciting anymore. Why should they bother when they can just produce another sequel in another round of seemingly endless franchise pictures? Or empty live-action remakes of their own classic animations everyone already knows and loves. Then they spend endless hours reading endless articles in the industry press asking why the box office is dying. To the point that even I can become jaded waiting to see will anything new ever come out again. You begin to lose hope. Until... it comes out of nowhere, bringing back the dream that there are still good films, great films out there to be discovered, as it is with Strange Darling. From the moment a woman, we later find out is called The Lady, runs out of a tree line towards the camera, dressed in nurse's scrubs, part of her ear shot off, and a haunted look in her eyes, we realise this is something exciting, something original, something new. Writer-director J.T. Molnar has, with only his second feature, given us a nightmare in film. And we know it's film because the movie proclaims with pride it's shot in 35mm. With an opening that evokes echoes of John Carpenter's Christine to 1974's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yet Molnar shows a deft hand as well when it comes to the screenplay, recalling films such as Reservoir Dogs and Memento, with a story that jumps forward and back in time, taking moments out of context, letting you, the viewer, assume to know what's going on, only to fill the gaps in continuity later, showing both the story and its characters in a different light, catching the audience out in its assumptions of just what is going on, with twist after bloody twist. Keeping us, the audience, off balance, subverting our expectations, including the violent third act, yet adding to the thrill of the story itself. A story that the director claims may or may not be true. True in the way Fargo was supposed to be true.
And I says, what kind of action? And he says, woman action. What do I look like? And I says, well, what do I look like? I don't arrange that kind of thing. And he says, but I'm going crazy out there at the lake. And I says, yeah, but this ain't that kind of place.
A story that seems to cover a dozen themes and ideas, from love to death, even sexual consent. But at its heart, it's a story about evil. Brutal, yes, but also, at times, like a fairy tale. Down to a maiden in peril, elderly couples living in the forest about to have their breakfast when Goldilocks knocks at the door, and huntsmen in pursuit with violence on their mind and in their hearts. And this is a film with violence, showing us how sudden, shocking, indiscriminate it can be. And for the story to succeed as it does, well, that comes down to depending on its performers A cast whose characters have no names but titles like Lady and Demon, archetypes at best. And it is a cast that does it with aplomb. Willa Fitzgerald and Kyle Gallagher are outstanding as the Lady and the Demon. Although this is a career maker for Fitzgerald, her lady goes through a range of emotions as she tries to evade the demon's pursuit that more accomplished and named actors would have difficulty in achieving, yet Fitzgerald holds every second she is on screen. Gallagher's demon, on the other hand, is a force of repressed emotion, conveying more in a glance at a baggie of cocaine than 10 pages of dialogue could hope to achieve. Ed Begley Jr. as Frederick and Barbara Hershey as Genevieve are the happily married but foul-mouthed old hippies who live out in the woods, terrified of Bigfoot, and who have taken way too many drugs in their time, offering a counterbalance to the hatred between Lady and the Demon. However, special mention has to go to the cinematographer Giovanni Ribisi. Ribisi, who is well known to us all for his work on films as an actor such as Saving Private Ryan and Avatar, is the producer of this, but he's also making his feature debut as a cinematographer. And it is stunning. His woodlands are dappled with light, while his seedy hotels are straight out of an 80s neon nightmare, ending with a final shot that I promise will haunt you for days after the film has ended.
Here, kitty, kitty, kitty.
No, son.
Order.
I can still remember way back in 1993 when I was studying classical animation in Dublin, and on a half-day Wednesday, I went to see a new film in the Savoy Cinema called Reservoir Dogs. And I remember coming out of it elated, having realised I had just seen one of my favourite films of all time. Well, 32 years later, I still get that feeling from time to time, and I came out of the cinema Tuesday night with a grin plastered on my face. Strange Darling is in cinemas now, and it won't be for everyone, but with one of the most powerfully acted death scenes I've ever seen on screen, and as I said, a final 3-minute shot that will remain with you, all I can say is, go see it.
Please, sir, I want some more.
More?
All right, stop it. Stop it right there. Go on, fill up the bowl.
And if you liked this episode of So What Did I Think and you want to see more, please click like and subscribe. Remember, always subscribe. Thanks for watching.